Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to episode 3 of my bee breeding guide. I am going to be going over in this series of videos all of the stuff that I am aware of and have access to in all of the attributes of bees with respect to forestry, uh, extra bees, magic bees, everything I can get my hands on about bees. I understand, yes, there are wiki pages and hundreds of documents to go over. However, I decided that some people, like me specifically, like to see things in action or have things spoken to them or just see them in the game rather than just words on a page. So that's why part of the reason why I'm doing this. The other part is to get it stuck in my head a little bit better because I want to understand the bees a little bit more. So this is for everyone's benefit. But in this episode, what I'm going to be covering are the attributes of the bees. I've gone over so far in this series the hives and some basic tools, and then the starting machines and gear that you need to progress in with the bee breeding experience. Bee breeding experience. Did I say that wrong? Anyway, in this episode, I'm going to be in more depth covering the actual attributes of the bees. And the attributes include such things as how long they live, what types of flowers they use, where they can live, that sort of thing. So, let's go ahead and get to it. The first thing I'm going to be covering here is if you have a bee Eliezer, which I went over in the last episode, you can, by fueling it with honey, you can take bees to this location here where the question mark is and figure out what their stats are. This is specifically a tropical princess that I just spawned in from the in-game cheat, so I can demonstrate for this video. But as you can see on here, there are several bits of information in just this first spot, the Roman numeral 1 there. The first one is the species, and you can see it says tropical. And the reason why it's got two is it has an active column that is the more dominant attributes for the purposes of breeding, or if it is a queen or a princess, these are the attributes that it will exhibit when you put it into a bee house, an apiary, or an alveary. The inactive are really only applicable for the purposes of the actual crossbreeding and get applied from the princess and the drone. Some of the inactive attributes are applied to the offspring. The next thing on here is the lifespan. Now, there are a lot of different lifespans, and they range from under 5 minutes to over half an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these in detail because this is some of the most important aspects that you're going to need to keep track of for maintaining lots and lots of bee farms. And these are just one example each of the 9 different lifespans. There are hundreds of bees, so don't be fooled. This is just a very small sampling of what there is available. The shortest lifespan, before I get into this, the lifespan measures with respect to how many cycles the bee will, the queen will live before it dies and spits out the offspring. A cycle in the game is 550 ticks. What that amounts to is 27.5 seconds in real time. So, the attribute that you're looking for on this bee, it says the radioactive princess, and underneath that it says slowest worker, and then that next line down is what we're looking at on all of these bees here. It says shortest life. Shortest life means it will live for 10 cycles, which amounts to about 4 minutes and 35 seconds. The next one up, shorter life, is 20 cycles, which amounts to about 9 minutes and 10 seconds. The next one, short, is 30 cycles, and that's 13 minutes and 45 seconds. Then shortened is 35 cycles. It's just a hair over 16 minutes. The normal lifespan, the nice happy medium, is 40 cycles, and that lasts for about 18 minutes and 20 seconds. So already you're going to be doing, at the normal life length, you're going to be doing fewer than 4 life cycles per hour. So this is where it really starts to get time consuming here. Then we move on to the elongated life, and that is 45 cycles, which is about 20 minutes and 38 seconds. Getting pretty up there. Then we have the long life, which is 50 cycles at really close to 23 minutes. Then the longer life, which is 60 cycles at 27.5 minutes. And then finally the longest life, which is 70 cycles, which is just over 32 minutes. So it goes from about 4 minutes and 35 seconds to 32 minutes here. Big lifespan difference, and it is very important to keep track of that when you're planning your routes or whatever, or dealing with your machines if you want things to be timed around your bee cycles. So that's a pretty big one there. The next thing on the information here is the speed. Now the speed, what that represents is how much it will produce, or what chance it has to produce its product, whether it's some sort of honeycomb or some sort of crystal or some other form of output per time unit. Now, I don't know what the time unit is off the top of my head or off of any of the wiki pages. I can't seem to track that down. So if one of you guys knows what the actual time unit is, please let me know. It's probably some amount of cycles or something. I'm not sure. But it ranges similarly from slowest to blinding. And the slowest is 30% chance per time cycle to spit out some sort of produce, whereas blinding is 200% chance. And it goes slowest, slower, slow, normal, fast, faster, fastest, and blinding. Now, blinding I don't even have an example for in here, and actually I haven't set up examples for the speeds for this video. But the blinding is added by B from Ars Magica, which I don't have in this mod pack, but I will more than likely have before I'm done with the end of this series. So keep an eye out for that if you want to see what the blinding is like. All right, the next one here is pollination. Now, what pollination is its chance to either crossbreed trees or plant new flowers, or both. Bees have an effect on their environment with respect to the plants around them, whereby they will take bits of genetic material from one type of tree and another type of tree and mix them together to stand a chance in forestry to have a new species of tree. Bees are how you do the tree crossbreeding. But also, if any of you have messed with bees or seen someone messing with bees, or if you're about to, you will notice that left to their own devices, bees by themselves will just produce flowers everywhere in the area, in their territory. And I'll get to the territory here in a minute. And the pollination ranges similarly from slowest at 5% to maximum at 99%. And that's also per time unit there. Now the next thing on here is the flowers section. And on this tropical bee, you can see it has jungle, and I keep doing that. There we go. The flowers are actually a little bit more convoluted than you would hope. It isn't just, here, have some flowers. Different bees like different flowers. For instance, that jungle means it only wants vines or ferns from a jungle. These are, as far as I am aware, all the different types of flowers that you're going to need to know for the bee breeding process. And this does include bees from forestry, extra bees, and the magic bees. I don't have Greg Tech or Ars Magica on here, like I said, but the additional flowers for those, I think, are all of these or some of these already anyway. So what we have here are dead bushes. Now you're going to need shears to get these, or you're going to need to plant your bee housing next to a dead bush. And dead bushes you find in the desert. It's nighttime. Let's make it daytime. Like this over here, these are dead bushes. Now, you can't just punch them and harvest them. You have to use Silk Touch to get them, so keep that in mind if you're trying to move the bees closer to you, as opposed to moving the bee housing over to where the plants are, and they're dispersed throughout the desert. Another type of flower is a cactus. Cactus obviously has to be put on sand, and one thing you have to keep in mind is you can't put the cactus block right next to the bee housing. You can put it a block away, so I could have put the cactus there, and I don't know if all the bees are the same or not, but there is a very limited range that most bees can accept finding their flower type. So if I just have a cactus way over here, that bee is not going to even register it. But up close and personal, it'll find it for sure. So I like to put them right next to it if I can, like flower types. All right, another type of flower you're going to need to know about is the netherwort, which will, by default in regular Minecraft, the vanilla Minecraft, will only be able to be planted on soul sand. You can't, you can't take it out here and put it down on the ground like that. It has to go on soul sand. Another type of flower is the dragon egg. Any bee that asks for end as its flower, that's what it's asking for. I tried it with end stone. Doesn't care about the stone. It's the dragon egg. Now, you're probably thinking, well, if I kill the one dragon eggs there, I might be able to grab it and move it if I'm lucky. But other than that, that means I'm going to have to put all of my end-related bees right around that. Haha! If you've got a bunch of bees going and you're way at the other end, the master end, the godly end of the bee breeding, you can actually start producing dragon eggs, just making them. So you don't have to worry about that too much, but you will at first. So keep that in mind. The dragon egg is a flower, and that's what it asks for. I covered the jungle flowers, the vines and the ferns. And the vines and ferns, just like the dead bush, can be gathered using Silk Touch and put on grass, or the vines can be plopped on the side of pretty much anything. Another type of flower that you're going to encounter is a redstone, and what it's asking for is specifically the redstone torch. I've tried active and inactive redstone dust. I've tried the redstone block. I've tried the redstone ore. It is specifically asking for the redstone torch. Save yourself a lot of headache. Use the torch. And the way to remember that is it looks like a little redstone flower on a stalk or something like that. Anyway. Another type of bee will ask for mushroom. That's pretty straightforward. Any of the mushrooms will do. Another type will ask for sugar cane. Another type, or several types rather, will ask for lily pads, or water flowers is what those are. A very limited amount will ask for saplings. I think one, maybe two, are going to ask for leaf blocks specifically. There are some added by magic bees that are going to ask for books, and that is a bookshelf that you're going to want to put there. Some will ask for stone. Regular smooth stone, cobblestone will do. I have not been able to get them to accept stone bricks. Maybe they can, and I've just been not waiting long enough, but cobblestone for sure works. So just put it nearby. It can even be under the bee housing and work just fine. Another type of flour you're going to want to know about is wheat. Just grab seeds, pop it on tilled dirt, and there you go. Now, there are going to be some circumstances where if you are just trying to willy-nilly do the crossbreeding, you're going to run into some odd circumstances like you'll have a bee that can only survive in the nether, but it needs wheat. Wheat needs water, so you're going to have to either use the ice block trick, or you're going to have to do some genetic manipulation to get them to want some other type of flower or want a different type of environment. So that's pretty much the second trickiest one next to the end flower there. And then finally, there are magic flowers, which include the cinder pearl and what's the quicksilver one? Well, I think it's called quicksilver, as a matter of fact. Silver. No, no, no. I should have looked this up first. Let's see here. Recipe for that. Well, at the base of silverwood trees, which are trees blue leaves that I don't have in view range here, often you will find a different type of flower other than these cinder pearls, which look like this. And you can get blaze powder out of them. There is a silvery type that puts off light that gives you quicksilver. So those are the two kinds of magic flowers that you're going to be looking for that. So that, as far as I know, covers all the flower types. Now, moving on to fertility. All right, fertility means how many drones the princess will spit out when it dies. This will range anywhere from 1 to 4. That's the full extent of the range, and it only has to deal with the drones. Every time a queen dies, you're going to get a princess. When a queen dies, you also have a chance of getting some of the drones. Now, when it says 2, it doesn't always spit out 2. And that's only because of secondary traits from other bees. That means that the line is not stable. And bee breeding is a pain in the butt when it comes to stabilizing your line. And I will be going over that. But let me finish this off here. The next thing is the area. Now, the area talks about if you have... I did it again. If you have a bee housing like this bee house here, bee house, and you've got some, what was this, 9 by 6 by 9? Yes, 9 by 6 by 9. And you've got a bee with a 9 by 6 by 9 area. That means that it has a territory that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, goes over to here. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, goes over to here, and then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it also goes 9 that way, 9 that way, and down 6. So that's only the radius that it's talking about there, not the diameter. And the areas... There are 4 different areas for the bees' territories. The 9 by 6 by 9, 11 by 8 by 11, 13 by 12 by 13, and then 15 by 13 by 15. The 15 by 13 by 15 means it has a square that is 31 blocks per side, and it is 27 layers thick. It is a big area, and this area of effect has to do with what things it can pollinate and plant new flowers in its area, and also where its effect can be felt. I will be getting into the effect here in a moment. Now let's see here. What's next? Probably effect. Okay, yeah, it's effect. This one, poison. There are lots of different effects, and it would be unwise for me to try to cover all of them in this video. So what I'm going to do is when I cover the different types of bees, I'm going to be covering their effects at that time. But just to give you an example, let me take off the apiarist outfit here. And I have an apiary. And I have creative mode off. Alright, I'm going to come over here to the jungle. And I will also need a tropical drone. There we go. Now, you can put the bee house pretty much anywhere you want. I have put it here because it is within spitting range. It's getting nighttime. It's within spitting range of these vines, which, as you recall, are a type of flower, and specifically, they're the jungle flower for this. So I'm going to put in a princess and a drone here. It's going to create a queen, and then here in just a second, I should start getting some ill effects. Let me make sure it's going to work. Come on, you can do it. I'm not wearing any armor. Don't make a fool of me. No, it likes it. Wait, no, it doesn't like it. No, it does like it. Why aren't you poisoning me? Okay, well, it's not going to cooperate. It's camera shy. Excellent. I love that. The poison effect, as I was hoping to show you, means that if you're within its area, you will start taking damage. You can see these little things coming out of here. Some of them are bees, and some of them are those little green teardrop looking things. Now let's see if I can get a good one on the screen here. There we go. Over there. That is it emitting poison. And there we go. I am poisoned for half a minute now. So I'm going to put my armor back on and toss it back over to peaceful. That is the effect of... Wait. There we go. That is the effect of the poison coming from the tropical bee there. Now there are, like I said, lots of effects. Whole bunches. And it's really way too many to cover in this video. I just wanted to demonstrate that one so you could understand what an effect is. The bees themselves put out an effect inside their territory. Alright, next is... Done with this one? Yes. Next is climate. There are 6 different types of climates that you're going to need to keep track of, and different biomes have different climates. The climates are icy, cold, normal, warm, hot, and hellish. Hellish obviously is the nether. Hot is the desert. Warm is, for instance, the jungle. Normal is like a plains or a forest, that sort of thing. Cold is like a taiga, and icy are, well, the icy and frozen biomes. And you can determine, I keep doing that, you can determine whether or not a bee likes the environment. Do I not have a spare apiary? I don't. Oh well. By putting it in a hive, and that is if you haven't run it through Eliezer yet, because it will say unknown genome, and you can just wait for it to become a queen and then see if this tab pops up as red. This one says I can't work because I have no queen. Now it says I can't work because I have no drone. Then I put the drone in, the red tag goes away, and if there were any other problems once a queen exists, it would notify you up here. Otherwise, if you know what the stats are for your bee, you can plop one of these down, or there are other methods that you can use to check out the environment. But this one says hot and arid. Now to continue on with this, the temperature is also located on the shift screen here, the tool pop-up, next to the T, and it says warm. But next to that, it says both 1. Now, what that means is temperature tolerance. It means it can go up or down 1 temperature range and still be happy. So it says it likes the warm climate, but that means the temp tolerance both 1 means it can also be happy with normal or hot. 1 in either direction. The next thing on here is the humidity, and there are 3 types: arid, normal, and damp. And you can guess that the deserts in hell are arid, the jungles and marshes and the ocean biomes are damp, and everything else pretty much is normal. And then there's also humidity tolerance. Now it can go one way or both ways. And the range can for the temperature can be plus or minus 5, and this can be plus or minus 2, I believe. Yes. All right, the next thing on here is diurnal. What that means is, does it work during the day? Yes, yes, for the tropical bee here. The next one is nocturnal. Does it work at night? This one says no, so if it's nighttime, it's not going to be buzzing, and it will not be producing any output for the actual hive outputs. It won't be pollinating or anything like that, but it also means there won't be any status effects. The next one on here is the flyer, and what that means is whether or not it will be able to work while it's raining or precipitating in general. So if it's raining, this specific bee won't work, but if it said yes, then it would. And finally, on this page, it says cave, and what that means is if you... I did it again. I am such a goober. If you put a block, a solid block, over a hive, give it a moment to register here. Wait, no, I don't think chests are solid blocks. Where's that's a solid block. If I put this over here, in just a moment, this will pop up a red tag. Let me pull that out and put it back in to try to refresh it. Come on. Any minute now. Okay, well, I'll come back to that. Basically, if there is a block, a solid block over it that obstructs its view of the sky directly above it. Oh, clouds. Sorry, I got distracted. It will not produce, just like if it was nighttime or something. And this is not going to cooperate with me on camera, so I'll just ignore it. All right. Also in the Eliezer, you find a little bit more information here. The primary produce, what it spits out as its primary comb or whatever, and then any specialty items that it'll spit out. This is where you're going to find things like diamond shards and string and I don't know, zombie brains, anything else that isn't typically a comb is going to be down here. Next, on the Eliezer, it shows you all the different combinations, including some of the redundant ones that it can mutate from and mutate to in its line. And it has a lot of extraneous stuff in here that I don't think has anything to do with the tropical, like this and this aren't tropical. Same thing here. So I don't know exactly why this is set up the way it is. And also you can't mouse over it and tell what they are, so it's basically just a checklist saying, hey, you've gotten these things taken care of. I've gotten a lot more than that, but it's kind of just for show. And even more for show on the Eliezer is this last slot. It tells you the classification, which doesn't always have everything filled in on some of these bees. Tells you a little flavor text and a quote, and probably generally who discovered the bee, or who added the bee to the mod pack. But that's going to be it for the attributes. I am going to demonstrate really quickly. I don't have a spare apiary on me. Let me go ahead and grab one. There we go. Now we are in a desert. It says hot and arid. This likes damp, and it says down 1. So it would also like normal, but does not like arid. So let's see what happens when I pop it in there. There we go. Hostile environment. Says machine or inhabitants cannot work in this biome. And that's saying that something is wrong. And the best way to look at that is to figure out warm both 1. Well, this is hot, so that's 1 up from warm. And then damp down 1 does not include arid, and that's why it's not going to work here, but it does work over there in the jungle. And that, I believe, is everything that I needed to cover for the traits and attributes and all that for this episode. Like I said, I am going to be covering the different effects of the bees in a lot more detail in later episodes, but as far as this one's concerned, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you. If I skipped over something or didn't explain it thoroughly enough, please let me know. I will add it to the description, or I will try to cover it in another video or something. I'm trying to be as thorough as possible here. Also, if you feel the need, go ahead and like. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me to see you guys like what I'm doing here. And go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. So when I put out more videos, you know when I've gotten more stuff up, and so you know when any messages that I'm putting up on here saying, hey, watch for these, you know in advance that more stuff is coming. Also, along with this tutorial and guide, I have a map that I've gone over in previous videos that is basically a hands-on walkthrough of the bee species breeding guide for the different branches of the bees, and you can access it through this book here. The landing is what I called that area, and also if you download this, you'll spawn pretty much at this location. You can access it directly by going into the main hub there. But if you do download this map, keep in mind I am using the Unleashed mod pack in the Feed the Beast mod series. So if you need Feed the Beast, go ahead and get it, and then you can start using this. I figure I might as well do the whole mod pack because I'm already covering like I don't know, half dozen different mods as part of the production of this beast system anyway. So might as well just use the mod pack as the map. So that's pretty much that. But anyway, thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.